Melbourne, guys?
Pretty courageous win in a variety of respects.
Yeah, look, we obviously lost a couple of guys through that third quarter, which and got challenged. You know, to Melbourne's credit, they came pretty hard towards the end of the third quarter, and I thought our guys showed some real resolve in the last quarter in those circumstances. And I thought we'd played pretty strong footy all night, but to be able to then at three-quarter time just turn that tide back the other way, it was very pleasant. Very pleasant.
How are we, Sloaney?
Yeah, he seemed all right. I just spoke to him then. He's, obviously we'll have to assess him during the week and see how he recovers. And the doctors will, as we do with all our players, take ultimate care and make sure that he's either right or he's not for next week.
It was a bit hard to get him off the ground.
Yeah, it's interesting. Well, he's that sort of player, isn't he? He's the sort of guy that he goes down and he's sort of up and he wants to keep playing. But that's why the doctors are there. And I think the rule is if the stretcher comes out, you've got to come off anyway. So he wasn't too keen, but eventually we got him off.
Would you want him to rest next week, or what's your initial?
Look, let's see how he pulls up. To be honest, it's probably too early to tell.
How concerned were you when the stretcher came out?
Well, look, whenever any of your players go down like that, you're concerned for their health and their welfare. The fact that he got up, obviously, was a positive, and now it's a matter of just going through the protocol from a concussion viewpoint.
Tom Lynch has come back in a pretty extraordinary after 2 weeks.
Yeah, fantastic for Tom. I mean, he was in my office last Monday morning saying I'm ready to go and sort of moving his magnet onto the board, which was great. And he's always been really positive and he loves his footy. And it was, we're probably just mindful of his total game time. He normally plays pretty high game time for us, so we tried to manage him a bit tonight. But I thought his return was outstanding.
There's been a lot of talk about your forward line this year, and they certainly delivered for you tonight. The stats are pretty similar, but your forward line certainly performed better than they did. Yeah,
look, I was really happy with the way that the forwards went about their work tonight, and often, a lot of the benefit they get is through some of the ball movement. I thought, our pressure around the ball was strong pretty much all night, probably apart from about a 15-minute period in the third quarter. I thought we were able to sustain really high pressure on Melbourne, which forced turnovers, which allowed us to then start moving the ball. And once we moved the ball, our forwards became the beneficiaries of some of that, and they did it very well.
Tex was terrific right from the start.
Yeah, fantastic. Again, he was very good last week for us, and again, from a leadership viewpoint, really strong in terms of how he plays, and that sets a really strong standard for the rest of the group. So, another really good night for Tex.
How did you see that clash with Douglas and Vince?
Hard to say. I'll leave that for the umpires and bits and pieces to deal with. I mean, I saw it. It was a high contact. Well, anything more than that, I'll leave with the AFL to sort out.
There was a lot of talk around Vince and Sloan match up throughout the week. How did you think that played out? He held him pretty well again. Yeah, well, look, we knew it was coming. I think that was announced before the game. So, and I think Sloaney contributed in other areas again. I mean, it's one of those ones where I've said often, we're not about needing Rory Sloane to get 25, 30 touches for us to win games of footy. I mean, Rory had a job tonight. He did something slightly different again. He continues to put great pressure on around the ball and continues to lead. And he'll get days where he'll get more footy than he did tonight. But it was one of those one-on-one battles which sometimes go away and sometimes don't. A lot of talk mid-year about teams that figured you out, but we're getting towards the pointy end now, and you're still sitting there right on the top. So you've responded really well. Yeah, look, it's one of the things when you lose some games, you learn. And we learnt through that period there was a certain way sides were trying to play against us, and we had to adapt, and we had to do some educating in our playing group, and then we get another great test next Friday night against Geelong, a side that we haven't previously performed well against. So another test, and we'll see whether we've made any progress in terms of what we've learnt from the previous games against them. But you're always learning in this game. Even from tonight, we learned some things, and we learned some things through some of the success we had tonight. But we'll learn some things through areas we didn't do as well as we would like, or didn't consistently do them, because we understand that we want to know quite clearly what's going to help and create winning for us versus things that will be the opposite, and that's the nature of the game. You're always on the learn.
How's Jake Lee?
Yeah, well, Jake is just tightened that hamstring, so that was the advice was to rest him up. So we'll assess that during the week and see to what extent that is, and we'll let you know in due course.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.